Welcome to the Pirls Stock Market Commentary video, your weekly window on stock market technical conditions, featuring the proprietary bull bear point and figure market breadth summary chart for July 22nd, 2018. Market breadth. With this past week's market fractional decline, our bull bear point and figure ratio at 1.03 fell from 1.06 last week. The total count of securities in bullish or bearish patterns increased fractionally to 2,944. The count of bearish stocks increased 2%, while the count of stocks in bullish patterns decreased fractionally. The Pirls PNF Market Breadth Summary Chart shows us a market now 2 weeks in bullish territory. Paid subscribers have access to the OpenOffice Calc data from which the chart is generated. You may become a paid subscriber by visiting s2pmarketsignal.com, clicking Membership, clicking Register, and following the prompts. To receive the weekly Pirls Stock Market Commentary via email, free of charge, simply enter your name and your email address in the spaces provided and click Subscribe. The well-known market breadth indicator, the Nasdaq McClellan Summation Index, continues below the June 2018, January 2018, October 2017, February 2017, December 2016, July 2016, and the May 2016 tops. It continues above the March 2018 and July 2017 tops above plus 100 in the last 30 months, and it continues above all four bottoms below minus 100 in the last 30 months. Volume analysis. In this week's volume analysis, the Nasdaq Composite Index ended in neither accumulation nor distribution mode, with average daily volume lower than the prior week. In the last 2 weeks, the Nasdaq had 3 accumulation days and 2 distribution days. Accumulation days are counted when the index closes up on higher volume than the prior market day, while distribution days occur when the index closes down on volume higher than the prior market day. Last week, the Nasdaq ended in neither accumulation nor distribution mode, on higher average daily volume. Momentum. The CCI 20 daily, at a positive 83.94, fell from a positive 111.78 last week. Last week at Friday's 7/13 close, the CCI 20 had 6 consecutive days above zero for a change of trend to Woody's up. The CCI 20 daily continues outside the plus or minus 50 range for a valid zero-line reject long entry signal. In Woody's CCI trading system, 6 consecutive bars above or below zero are required for a change of trend. The weekly CCI 20 of the Nasdaq Composite Index began a Woody's uptrend 116 weeks ago, while the daily CCI 20 began a Woody's uptrend 1 week ago. The CCI 20 weekly fell to a positive 121.99 from a positive 130.80 last week, continuing outside the plus or minus 50 range required for valid zero-line reject long entry signal. Industry rotation the last 2 weeks. All of the top 5 industries are positive, and all of the bottom 5 are negative. Summary: S&P Retail, Sumtech, and Brokers on top. Oil, Oil Services, and Gold and Silver on the bottom. Bullish, CompTech and S&P Retail continue in the top 5. Gold and Silver, Oil, and Oil Services continue in the bottom 5. Brokers has entered the top 5. Disk Drives and KBW Bank have left the bottom 5. Bearish, Computer Hardware has left the top 5. Focus this week from www.zerohedge.com, submitted by Eric Peters, CIO of One River Asset Management. Highly unstable equilibrium. Why one CIO expects China will crash the market to restore balance. This isn't a market technicals article, so atypical for us to post, but we believe the technical aspects of game theory give an important edge to understanding the economics of geopolitics, which of course can powerfully impact markets. In addition to the following article, we also recommend reading the classic game theory book, The Evolution of Cooperation, by Robert Axelrod. The following are some excerpts from Eric Peters in the Zero Hedge Post. Almost all top-scoring strategies are optimistic, not defecting before its opponent does. Therefore, a purely selfish strategy will not cheat on its opponent for purely self-interested reasons. However, the successful strategy must not be a blind optimist. It must sometimes retaliate. Successful strategies must also be forgiving. Though players will retaliate, they will once again fall back to cooperating if the opponent does not continue to defect. This stops long runs of revenge and counter-revenge. Global trade is a never-ending prisoner's dilemma, said the CIO, explaining that we're collectively better off through cooperation, but nevertheless periodically seek short-term advantage by exploiting the blindly optimistic. Quote, the most successful prisoner's dilemma strategy is tit for tat, in which both players cooperate initially, end quotes. But once one player chooses non-cooperation, the opponent retaliates with non-cooperation in the subsequent round, making both worse off. To interrupt that destructive cycle, one player will periodically choose to cooperate despite their opponent's non-cooperation, signaling a desire to return to the optimal state where both cooperate and everyone is better off. Quote, the U.S. and China are not cooperating, and Trump will obviously not do a deal ahead of November elections, end quotes. Every deal requires compromise, and Trump won't allow his critics to criticize any concession ahead of midterms, so no deal will be done. Quote, what makes this round particularly interesting is that in Prisoner's Dilemma, both non-cooperators are punished. But today, only China is penalized. Trump is rewarded. With each escalation, his popularity rises, as does the S&P 500. The massive tax stimulus and budget deficit have temporarily insulated America from non-cooperation's consequences. Quote, this creates a highly unstable equilibrium. It puts China in an impossible negotiating position, end quote. To restore balance, Beijing must impose a material cost on the U.S. for its non-cooperation. Quote, China's revealed preference to impose pain on America is through a dramatic renminbi devaluation, end quote. China's currency has now fallen 6% in a straight line over 4 weeks, which hurt emerging markets, but hasn't yet punished the S&P 500. Thank you for watching this week's Santu Pirls Stock Market Commentary, featuring the proprietary bull-bear point and figure market breadth summary chart compiled by Donald Pearl. www.s2pmarketsignal.com. For s2pmarketsignal.com, I'm Cindy Pearl, hoping that you are enjoying a peaceful and pleasant weekend, that you are looking forward to a prosperous and productive week coming up, and wishing you true success.